Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is a surprisingly rather cold Saturday evening, but as it is Saturday, you know what day it is. Welcome to installment number 8, I think, of OST Saturday. We've only got 3 OSTs this week. In fact, on the kind of like release calendar we really do not have a lot of OSTs that drop this week. But three in particular I want to check out today. We got TXT, we've got Yuqi from I-dle for the second week in a row, I think. And we've got Jihan, Miss Jihan from Weeekly. We haven't heard from in a hot minute, so that'll be tremendously exciting. So, here we go. I'm going to be referring to this monitor a few times throughout this, mainly because I have the release schedule listed on here and I can kind of reference what each thing is about. So we're starting off with TXT, Tomorrow by Together, and their song Goodbye Now for the Love Revolution webtoon and its OST. And apparently this song was originally sung by 015B, so this is kind of like a remake in a way. I've never heard the original before, and even if like this lyric video, like Zati Farhani's kind of like a go-to when it comes to like big name groups and lyric distribution videos and things like that, like color-coded lyric videos. And they have like a little outro thing at the end, but this is 5 minutes 20 seconds, which probably means it's going to be a roughly 4.5 minute song, which for like this current day and age is a tremendously long song. So I'm very much excited for it. I don't know what this is going to sound like, and I'm tremendously excited. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Looks like I've got audio settings right, thankfully.
우리 처음 만났던 어색했던 그 표정 속에 서로 말 놓기가 어려워 망설였지만
Yeonchun, that low vocal.
음악 속에 묻혀 지내온 수많은 나날들이 이젠 돌아갈 수 없는 아쉬움 됐네 이제는 우리가 서로 떠나가야 할 시간 아쉬움을
This is giving me a very heavy like 80s pop ballad vibes, and I love it. And the fact that every single member so far has just been sitting in that lower register for the entire song is so cool, because I feel like we don't get to hear their voices like this. I think because of that, Taehyun's voice here just shines a bit different now. Oh, it is so 80s ballad, and I am so for it. And I love the layered vocals here as well. Very funky chord at the end there. Funky, not like funk music, but like very different chord there. Yeah, no, this entire thing just screams 1980s. I like the lyrics of it too. I don't usually pay attention to the lyrics all that heavily, but that we're gonna take a break, but we're gonna meet again soon kind of thing. As for the song, I love Taehyun on this high pre-chorus. His voice just hits a little bit differently than what I'm used to in TXT tracks. Yeah, this line here, super meaningful. Again, there's something about this song and the way it's written that just makes Taehyun's high vocals sparkle. Hold on. Tell me this song isn't like screaming for like you to like wave your cell phone flashlights or lighters back and forth. Yeah, perfectly a 4.5 minute song. Oh, oh, it's a really gorgeous like ballad. It really is. Like the lyrics are super meaningful. The lyrics are for me also very relatable in a way, but it's just the song and the way it listens is just pure 1980s ballad. Like even the cheesy lyrics, the melodies are just pure 1980s, and I love it. This is like this is the era of music that I grew up listening. And I didn't grow up listening to like the early mid 2000s like pop or rock or whatever. I listened to like 1980s music. So this is like this is hitting a place that not often gets hit when it comes to K-pop releases like this. I want that final chorus again because it's absolutely gorgeous. Just the way it's in unison here. And it's the fact that the vocal top line and the instrumentals underneath. The instrumentals don't follow the same chord sequence as what like my musical brain would think would be based off of the melodic top line. The final chord is a little bit different because it allows for a little bit more of like a transition and a proper outro into this like twinkling synth section here. Plucky synths, the electric guitar, the really slow drums, the floating vocals, the harmonies, the unison final chorus. This might be one of my favorite OSTs so far this year. Like, no joke, this might be one of my favorite OSTs so far. Ooh, that was a lot of fun. Alright, so next up, Misugi, who, let me actually check. I feel like we checked like her OST out last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago actually, because she did one with Mion for Love to Hate You. Yeah, that looks like it was 2 weeks ago. That's alright, but this time it's on her own, along with Hyper Time for the, again, a webtoon, I Wasn't a Cinderella, with the song Not Cinderella. So Well, it looks like this is a part 1 for an OST, so we might be getting more from this webtoon moving forward. That'll be interesting to keep track of. But, alright, here we go. Misugi, what do you got for us? I didn't actually check for lyrics. No. Ooh. This one's a bit different.
My life was no fairy tale, but they call me a name. Do I look like I need a brace? I can't read off all the levels. Do not try to lie to me.
Is anybody else getting like Giants kind of feeling from this? Like Ugi's solo song Giants? One thing that is for sure though, her lower tone is on full display here. And not just her low tones either, her middle, like powerful middle tone as well. Ooh. This is something a little bit different. It's not your typical sound for an OST track. I don't know how it's coming across for you all, but for me, like the 808 in the background is making my brain shake a little bit. That's not a bad thing. For an EDM head, when you can feel your brain shake, that's a good time. I quite like this build. It's really subtle. That like pre-chorus, it's interesting how the build develops, because in terms of the instrumentals it doesn't really develop all that much. It's Ugi's vocals that gets louder and louder as it progresses. I think that's very unique, because her voice is the one driving the flourish, not the instrumental. Typically it's the other way around. There's the low voice. Now we have a proper build. And a very different final drop. Ooh. There's some interesting mixing going on with this outro. Alright. That was something a little bit different, wasn't it? It's the thing with EDM tracks like this is you can't really approach breaking it down in a similar way that you can with a pop song, and even to an extent a K-band song in a way, because there's a different way of approaching EDM songs. It's in its core, like, foundational points, there are similarities, like, you know, song structure where there's verses, pre-chorus, chorus, and things like that. But when it comes to like balancing instrumentals, or like even the incorporation of instrumentals in a way, there's a different approach to it. And it's more along the lines of like with a drop. An EDM drop for me can't be described the same way as like a big flourish for a pop song's chorus. They're both technically drops in a way, but with an EDM drop, you have to look at it differently. You have to look at it in a way that like almost an EDM head would approach it. Having said that, this song almost for me rides the line between like what an out and out EDM track would be and what a pop song's like EDM drop would be. Because I don't think it's necessarily quite pop enough to be considered a pop EDM drop, but it's not EDM enough to be an out and out EDM drop. It's very similar to how I feel about Majors, if you know that group. Their songs are really heavily influenced by the EDM scene and like kind of electro music in a way. Like Giddy Up, I think, is a great example of an electro song, and it's really good. The thing is, that's another one of those songs where it rides the line between EDM and pop. And I think the fact that this song, not just the fact that it rides between EDM and pop, but that it rides that line and it's not a pop, like meant to be a traditional pop song. It's meant to accompany possibly a fantasy romance based webtoon. There's a lot of things going on with it, including like the pairing with the medium it's for. Very interesting stuff. This one I'm gonna need to process a little bit more. Not just the music, but also like the way it's been incorporated, because typically you don't associate fantasy romance with EDM, and especially like a slow EDM song like this. So you always find new combinations here and there if you go looking for. All right, last song. Miss Jihan out of Weeekly. The industry's #1 orbit. Okay, so this one is from Kokdu Season of Daily, which is a drama. And the song Latte. Now, when are Weeekly going to have a comeback? That's what I want to know. I feel like Vampara was so long ago. I just want more Weeekly music, man. I miss old Weeekly music. Vampara was not my cup of tea. My like falling in love with Weeekly moment, much like it was with tens of thousands of other people, was after school, and even a holiday party to an extent. Vampara was a huge switch up, and then ever since then, I feel like we haven't even gotten a sniff of what like a next release could be. But in the meantime, we've got OST stuff to check out. So, Miss Jihan, what do you have for us? I don't think I've ever listened to any solo stuff from you yet, so let's find out. No captions, but that's okay. Something a little bit lighthearted. This one's a little bit quieter than I thought it was going to be. Not just like the song, but like the video itself is really quiet for some reason. Ooh. There's a very lighthearted chillness to this. But also, it kind of feels retro in a way, just very subtly. Like, the little things they're doing with like the synthesizer and the sound mixing feels very modern. but the general vibe of the song and like kind of like the melody it's following feels a little bit more retro. Especially this chorus. Did they add that drum fill for the second chorus there? Jihan's also one of those idols where, depending on her range and where she's singing in her vocal register, she sounds like two different idols. This song portrays it really well, because that bridge sounded like it was a different person singing it compared to the rest of the song. And let it fade out. That one was sweet. That one was super gentle. That one was kind of really easy to listen to. It was a really casual song. It wasn't as chill as I thought it was going to be, but it's also like you can just kind of sit back and let the music play through your ears. That was really nice. Kind of what I associate with Jihan as, like, her personality is kind of like that easygoing and gentle attitude, but also can surprise you a little bit, kind of. This is kind of like her personified as a song, I feel like. And I quite like that. And I missed hearing her voice. Jihan's got a really nice singing voice. Especially that, where's that? I think this is the bridge. Her lower voice here in the bridge, and then her voice here in the chorus, for me, comes across very differently. And not many idols can do that. Jihan is one of those idols that can kind of like distinguish between two very different voices, and I really like that. Okay. Did I press the right button on OBS? Transition. There we go. For a second I thought I broke it. But hey, a little bit shorter of an OST Saturday this week, but I think that's okay. I think in terms of the songs we covered today, we got a little bit of everything, which I say that for every OST Saturday, I know, but like I think for me this week's was a little bit special. Like that TXT song, oh, I'm gonna go and listen to that again. Like I'm unironically going to playlist that and binge listen the crap out of it because I absolutely adored it. Not to say that I won't with the other ones, but that TXT one is, I think, the memorable one for me this week. But that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy and want to see more, channel icon is up there. You can find the back catalog of stuff I watched in the past. Drop a subscription if you want to keep up to date with whenever I upload new videos. And if you want to watch another video of mine right away, YouTube recommends you watch that video down there. And until next time, bye-bye.